Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right. Welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm doing a nightly version of my podcast. Normally I do it first thing in the morning, but I'm running behind a little bit today. Either way, I hope you are enjoying my micro podcasts. Feel free to message me, brian@briangrin.com. If there's a topic you want me to discuss, usually I talk 5 to 10 minutes on something I find relevant, either something that came up with an interview that I did, or I don't know, something that's relevant in my clients' lives, or something that maybe they had questions about. But I'd love to hear from you. So email me, shoot me an email me, or message me in social media. Either way, today I just want to discuss, my last one was regarding my favorite way to get energy, and that's through intermittent fasting. And I got a few questions regarding, what's the best way to start? And I wanted to just touch on that. I also wanted to maybe touch on some of the things that I've learned from fasting over the last 7, 8 years. And, today, for example, I was out all day, busy coaching golf, and I didn't have anything. I just had sparkling water the whole day, but I didn't even think twice about it, really. It's taken me time to get to this point, but I always recommend taking these baby steps. It's like anything else. If you're going to start working out, you're not going to go into the gym and go do 2-3 hour workouts. You're going to do a little bit at a time. Now, if you listen to a lot of my podcasts, I'm all for these micro workouts, 15, 20 minutes, and you're done. And I did that regarding, even the benefits of sprinting, whether that's regular sprinting or on a bike or whatever. You don't need to be on it forever. Just hit it hard and maybe do 4 to 6 sprints, and you're done. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. If you want to listen to that, listen to the benefits of sprinting. If you're curious to know what the most efficient fat burning way to do cardio, that would be it. If you want to call it cardio, it's quick cardio, not chronic cardio. We don't want chronic cardio. So, anyways, some of the ways to get into intermittent fasting, I would say first and foremost is, maybe pick a meal that isn't as important to you. For a lot of people, that is breakfast. I think they get up in the morning and breakfast can sometimes be a chore, or it could be a rush. And why would we want to do something like that and feed our bodies when we're rushed, or feed it when we feel like it's just getting in the way? So a lot of people like to skip breakfast. If that's not for you, maybe skip lunch. I have a client who just doesn't feel like eating lunch a lot of times, and he skips lunch. And if it's dinner, that could be you as well. I mean, a lot of people like to have family time for dinner. I do with my wife, Erin, and so I don't skip dinner really unless I feel like doing a multi-day fast. So the meal that I skip is breakfast and sometimes lunch. Breakfast has become easy for me. I think I used to be a breakfast eater, and now I get most of my work done in the morning, and I'm a lot more efficient. So I would pick the meal that is least important and work on skipping that meal. And the best way to do that is to make yourself busy during that time, because you're used to eating. Your body, you're gonna get hunger cues at that time because you're used to eating then. So if you stay busy and you maybe pick an activity, or maybe even go work out, that can help suppress hunger. But do something that will distract you. If you're just sitting around and staring in the kitchen, that is not going to help. So it's a mind game. You'll start to realize hunger is not an emergency. I think many people think that hunger is an emergency, and they panic when they get, when they get a little bit of a stomach growl, because I used to be like that. But you'll start to realize that it is just a cue, and it's all it is. It's not physical, it's psychological. And that's another thing that you start to realize is that hunger is, you got to know the difference between the two, between the actually body hunger, or is this really just head hunger, psychological? And you start to realize that once you fast more and more. But anyways, so find a meal that you want to skip that is, not as important, and perhaps maybe where you're more, so when you get most of your work done. If you work toward in the evenings, then perhaps that's the one to skip. If you feel like you're doing all your work in the morning and you want to be efficient and not rush around and eat, then do the morning. And then what I would do is I would take that meal, and you can just go cold turkey and eliminate it, which some people like to do, but I would say that I would just push it back. So if it's breakfast, if you usually have breakfast at 8 a.m., just push it back to 9 a.m. Try to get your body, flexible as far as when you're eating, as opposed to just relying on the clock. And once you go to 9 a.m., maybe do that for a few days, then push that back even more, to 10 a.m. and so on and so forth. And before you know it, you got to be patient. It takes time. And, the reason we're doing this is, you want to get your body adapted, fat adapted, where you're getting used to using your own stores of fat for energy, as opposed to just being in a fed state and relying on that all the time. Because as I've talked about before, your body uses a lot of energy assimilating and digesting calories. And you'll start to realize that you don't need those calories. Your body has plenty of body fat to run on for days and days and days. Unless you're like 4% or below, which is, I don't think many people are. Even myself, I'm a pretty lean individual. I'm about, 9%, 9.5% body fat. I can run for days and days on body fat. So nothing to be worried about. Obviously, I wouldn't fast if you're underweight, or if you're trying to necessarily put on weight, or if obviously you're pregnant or breastfeeding. And also, just with all this fasting talk, you can consult with your physician. He might have a different, let's say he might have a different idea regarding fasting, especially if he's really old school. But now more than ever, I think more individuals are becoming attuned to fasting. I mean, for one, it's been going on for centuries and centuries, and many major religions. So I think it's becoming more and more mainstream. But as I talked about, no one makes money from fasting, so I don't think you'll ever really hear it in the mainstream. So, one of the things that I also gain from fasting is realizing that eating is a privilege. I'm so blessed, and to be in an area outside of Chicago, and where we can get food when we want, and it's not even a second, it's not even a thought. It just, every corner, if you want to eat, you can eat. And there's a lot of people out there who fast regularly, and it's not a voluntary fast. And that's what you have to understand, is this is all voluntary, right? If you start fasting and for some reason you're not feeling right, you can always break that fast. Now, will you feel uncomfortable? Yes. You don't want to feel to the point where, you might pass out or things like that. We obviously don't want that. That's why you want to ease your way into the fast. If you're used to relying on calories, and especially carbohydrates and refined carbohydrates, it is going to take you longer and longer to become fat adapted. It's going to take time. I would clean up your eating first and foremost, and then start fasting. But either way, whether you do one or the other, start with one of them. If you're always eating refined carbs, it's going to make it more and more difficult. So if we can just start implementing healthy protein and fat, which I've talked a lot about, I won't touch on a ton in this podcast, but that's going to make fasting easier as well. So you gotta ride out those hunger waves a little bit. You gotta stay busy. If you need to drink some coffee, that's fine. Some people like to do a cleaner fast where it's just water. But if you're just starting out and you need a little bit of black coffee, I would go plain black coffee. Then go for it, because that'll help suppress appetite as well. And I use it from time to time. I don't like to rely on coffee or caffeine, but every once in a while I will do it timely, especially maybe even before a workout. You just got to be patient and give it time. The main thing here is, I think you have to understand that it takes time to get into fasting. and it's never going to go perfect. But if you start doing it a little bit at a time, before you know it, months will go by, you'll start realizing that you don't have to eat every meal and you can skip a meal and it's not a big deal. So give it a go. Let me know if you have any questions regarding that. And, hopefully this helps just get you started. It's all about getting started. Take small steps and you'll start to realize that it's not so difficult. So I hope this helps. I had some questions regarding getting started with fasting. I have a 21-day fasting challenge. You can check out some links. I'll put them in the show notes, but they're on my website, briangrin.com. And I also have a journal as well. Look out, I have a new fasting challenge coming up. And that's going to be up in the next few months, just for the winter time when people are starting to look to their New Year's resolutions. I felt like I revamped and put some new things in the challenge, but I have one up now, and I also have a journal to help you as well. But either way, just start small, get small wins, and you'll start to realize that you can do this and that it just takes time. So hope this helps get you started with fasting, and I look forward to talking to you next time. If you have any questions or you want a topic you want me to talk about, feel free to email me at brian@briangrin.com. Have a great rest of the week and talk to you later. Hey, Get Lean, Eat Clean Nation. Are you a man between the ages of 40 and 60 years old looking to lose inches around your waist, have significantly more energy throughout the day, and gain muscle, all while minimizing the risk of injuries? Well, I'm looking for 3 to 5 people to work one-on-one with in my Fat Burner Blueprint Signature Program, which I've developed by utilizing my 15 years experience in the health and fitness space. This program is designed specifically for those committed to making serious progress towards their health goals over the next 6 months. We will focus on sleep, stress, nutrition, meal timing, and building lean muscle. If this sounds like a fit for you, email me at brian@briangrin.com with the subject line Blueprint. That's brian@briangrin.com with the subject line Blueprint. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.